Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping into Happiness. We are your hosts. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie.
And we 100% did not plan to be matchy-matchy today. This was 100% coincidence. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, and for those who are not, Maggie and I are both in leopard. We did not plan this at all. We both popped on camera and started laughing.
Right. we're keeping it. It's fine.
Sometimes it just happens. And then we even have our matchy cups, like everything. We are super matchy today.
After we record, we should take a picture for Instagram.
I know, right? That's so funny. Well, guys, welcome. For those of you who are new listeners, hello to our wonderful, faithful sun drops. And guys, I have heard the request. I am trying to work on some merch, like a sun drop merch. I really am. I have some ideas. I know. I've reached out to a couple of like my graphic design peeps too, because I have some visualizations, but I'm kind of curious what they would come up with too. So very exciting. As soon as I know, you'll know. Okay. But also today, y'all, it's very exciting. I was looking at our stats the other day, and guys, this month in July, we ranked in the top 100 podcasts on Apple Podcasts. Like, that's huge. I know. Props to us. Guys, I can't tell you how many podcasts are in the world. And yes, it was within our category, in the nutrition category, because then we're also in a subcategory for wellness. But guys, that's amazing. That was really, so thank you. Because that you guys did that. You guys are the ones that got us ranked in the top 100. I mean, that is wild and amazing. And I'm so thankful for all of you guys. So amazing.
Yes.
And also, as I was looking at some of our stats, so our top 10 countries, guys, we don't just have listeners within the US. So I'm going to tell you our top 10 countries because we would like to say hi and thanks for listening. So hello to our friends in Canada, in the UK, Ireland, New Zealand, Germany, South Africa, which actually we rank in like the top 60 in the nutrition podcast in Nigeria, FYI. I don't know if I told you that one, Maggie. I know. Czechia. I even looked at how to say that. I promise. If I said that wrong, I apologize. Israel, France, and Australia.
Woohoo!
I know.
We're worldwide.
International, babes. Yes. I'm like, I can't believe it. I love so much that you guys listen in and you reach out and just thank you so much for tuning in every week and hanging out with Maggie and myself and just showing love and all the good stuff. So thank you guys so much.
Hey.
Yeah. And we have kind of a deep subject today though, don't we, Max? Like, do you want to tell them what our subject is for today?
Yes, because we did want to do a trigger warning or just a general word of caution. We're going to be deep diving into fat shaming today, and it can be kind of a broad conversation. It can go in a lot of different directions, but I'm all about protecting your peace. So if hearing a conversation that dives deep into the subject of fat shaming would not serve you or benefit you in, joy and peace, then exit out now. We have lots of other wonderful episodes that you can consume, and we already know next week's episode is going to be very lighthearted and fun, so stay tuned for that if this episode is not for you.
Well, and this episode came from a listener. So she never fully gave me permission to use her name, so I'm just going to call her listener L. Elle reached out to us and basically let us know that as a youth, as a teen, she was fat shamed by her parents, which led to an eating disorder in her teens. But she still struggles with the fat shaming with them and in her own head today. So she wanted us, for one, to bring awareness to this topic, to this subject and how it happens, and maybe even try to help those potentially in the midst of it, just kind of how to rewire ourselves and try to move away from that, because that's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that. And Rachel, did you have any other announcements or things that you wanted to share before we?
I don't think so. Yeah. Other than I did look up the definition of fat shaming. So, and this definition kind of got me. There's one word in here that really gets me. So the definition of fat shaming is the action or practice of humiliating someone judged to be fat or overweight by making mocking or critical comments about their size. And
Mhm.
that word judged to be fat, that's what gets me. So you don't even have to be overweight to be fat shamed. You know what I mean? Like that just breaks my heart to read that. That just somebody could just decide that you are not the right size and comment about it.
Right.
It breaks my heart that that's even something that we would need to be talking about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I never, I thankfully, I've never been a subject of fat shaming, but I have seen others,
Yeah.
deal
And I
with it.
think it's interesting, and I was talking to Rachel before we went live, is that yes, that is the definition in the dictionary of fat shaming, but it goes even further beyond,
Mm,
outright humiliating someone or mocking someone. It can be when I remember going to straight size clothing stores and being with other friends that were shopping and knowing good and well that there was nothing in that store that was going to fit me, but being treated disrespectfully by sales associates where they would straight up ignore me. They wouldn't greet
mm,
me. They would say, do you know that we don't carry your size in here?
mm.
Just uncomfortable comments, or even going to a restaurant and only seeing high top bar stools, right?
Yeah,
It's not conducive to all bodies, or on some airlines, being required to purchase more than one ticket based off your size, or theme parks where they don't design the roller coaster rides to fit the majority of the
I
population,
was gonna
right?
say,
Like
yeah, the average person, yeah.
there's
Mm,
often times where people will go to the doctor and have, issues, and a doctor might say, well, try losing some weight, right? Before even thinking about how other factors outside of weight could be at play. I mean,
mm-hmm.
fat shaming can happen in so many different forms.
Yeah,
And sometimes you could be a victim of fat shaming and not even realize it's happening. And you could be fat shaming someone and not
yeah,
even realize that that is what you're doing. And it's unfortunately one of those prejudices. I've talked about this with my mom countless times. It's a prejudice that I don't know if we'll ever address as as a country, as a society, as a world, like we do some
yeah,
of the other prejudices that um, people face, because at the root of it, people think, oh, well, if you're overweight, you can change that. So why
yeah,
should we accommodate you, or why should we treat you equally when you're doing this to yourself? And if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm putting it in quotes. So
yeah,
it's a tough subject
yeah.
to address. So, Rachel, the listener, had asked us to discuss on ways that we could rewire our brains, because if you've
Mm-hmm.
been told the narrative that if you're fat, you're unworthy, if you're fat, you need to change, that can really plant some deep rooted
Yeah.
seeds
Oh,
of,
lifelong.
self.
Like for some people, lifelong, like
Mhm,
commentary in their own head because they've
mhm,
been told it so many times. Recently, I just had somebody tell me that they refused to go to their family reunion because they had put on a little bit of weight, and their entire life their family had made comments about it. So she was
mhm,
like, I I didn't even want to go because I didn't want to hear it. Like,
mhm.
I mean, essentially she got down to just, I need to find my people. And sometimes my people, it's not even my direct family because they just, the way that they talked to her about it. And yeah.
I remember I was in undergrad, and I had these a few guy friends, and of course I found them very attractive, but I knew myself to be friend zoned, right?
Oh.
And one of the guys ended up telling me, "Hey, this other guy, I'll just leave names out of it for sake of
Mm-hmm.
privacy, but he said, too bad Maggie's a fat, because she would be an awesome girlfriend. And that was
No.
someone who I thought was my friend. Like, and it just like
Oh.
affirmed all of these fears that I had about men and how they view
Yeah.
fat women. And I was just like, oh my God. I remember being so devastated by that. And also thinking like, why is this person telling me this? That is something that I did not
Right?
need to know, right? I was like, and
Yeah.
so it was like stirring the pot or something. But yeah, that was really tough for me. I mean, it's even just comments like that, like, oh, you have such a pretty face. Like, even something like that, like,
We
that's an
talked about that a
odd
little bit,
comment to
remember,
make.
in the
Yeah.
things we want to have not said anymore. And when Justin was on, like, oh, like he's good looking for a big guy, or you're so
Right.
pretty for a big girl. Those things too. Like,
Yeah.
no.
And I thought of Justin when we were prepping for this because he made such a good point. If y'all have not listened to that
Mm-hmm.
podcast, I really recommend checking it out. He asks like, what was the intent of that comment?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people love us and they just don't know how to support us. And they might be trying to be
Yeah.
supportive. They might be trying to show that they care about us or our health, but the way that they're going about it is all wrong, right? And they don't know it's all wrong unless we call them out for it, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, no, I was doing a little bit more research on this subject beforehand, and I did find this article on healthline.com, and I will put the link to the article in our show notes where I got, my material. But I did read something that I saved, and it said people who tend to fat shame typically have never had a struggle with their weight, and often that they are saying hurtful things to help motivate a person to lose weight. So, yes, sometimes the intent is coming from a good place, but they're just not they're delivering it with hurtful words, and they think
Right.
that's going to. And I mean, I feel like we do that to ourselves sometimes. We've talked about that too, like that, how that negativity just doesn't help. But like coming from the outside, if you're already doing that internally, and then somebody says that to you, that just reiterates those like feelings of inadequacy, and it's okay, we're just putting it out there, friends. It's not necessary. It's not.
Right.
It's not
Here's the
necessary.
thing, it's never appropriate to comment
No.
on someone else's weight or body composition. Even when I try to compliment friends or people I love, like close family members, it's like, you look so strong, you look so
Mm-hmm.
healthy, you look so happy in that picture. Because even still, I don't know if you want to call it reverse fat shaming, but I talked about this in
Yeah.
one of our
Mm-hmm.
podcasts where it's like all of a sudden all the comments are about the way that I look, and
Yeah.
it's more to it than in what we look like. So I think if we're concerned for a loved one or whatever the case may be, let them start the conversation. It's not our
Yeah.
place. It's just not our place to comment on someone's body or just the way that they look in general. I just think it's extremely inappropriate.
And like you said, it doesn't have to be somebody who is overweight, somebody who's maybe losing weight. Like, remember, you and I have both had people be like, "You're wasting away. Let's eat. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's get some food in this body." That's doing it too, friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea if they're struggling, what kind of mental place that they're at right now. So just showing that love and showing support, no matter which direction it goes, no matter where they're at in their stage of their journey, support is what they need. Support.
Right.
And support can look in different ways. Support can be like, hey, where do you want to go eat today? Because maybe they are, concerned about something, instead of you saying, oh, you can't go there, right? That's in a negative undertone. So just, moving more towards support is the way to go, friends. Because it's just,
It just breaks my heart that there are people out there who think that people who are overweight don't deserve like space in society, or they can't do awesome things. I mean, there's fat discrimination that happens in workplaces.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
fat discrimination that happens in all types of careers. Like I said, it's just one of those things that it's a prejudice, and it's something that takes a lot of work to rewire our own prejudices, right? Our own biases, where none of us are immune to it
Yeah.
because of the societal pressure. And I think it's almost human nature to like judge someone, or you like have an opinion about someone, right? But then you have to check yourself, like, and question yourself, what is it about that person that bothers me? Why am I so
Mm-hmm.
bothered by their body type
Yeah.
or the number that they are on the scale, when it has absolutely no impact on me as a human being? And
Oh,
we were
yeah.
talking this week in workshops about focusing on what you can control, and I think this is another example of that. You can control the way people treat you based off of your size.
Mm-mm.
That sucks
Yeah.
because we don't deserve that. We don't deserve to be mistreated in that way. It's absolutely disgusting that people have to
Yeah.
experience this. But we can't control it, and hurt people hurt people. If someone's being
Mm.
nasty to you,
Yeah.
whether they think their intentions are good or not, they're hurt, and it says more about them than what it
Yeah.
says about you.
Oh, yeah.
I remember my mom used to always joke, because my mom, she will admit she's dealt with being overweight, and she's on the WW journey as well. And I remember coming home and crying because the girls at school were bullying me because of my size or because of the clothes that I wear.
Yeah.
And she would say, you know, I can lose weight, but you can't change your terrible attitude or personality.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
Yeah.
her way of reminding me, like, at the core of it, like, those people are missing some joy in their life, some peace in their
Yeah.
life to feel like they have to put others down. So in terms of like rewiring, I remember my voice teacher in high school, she also told me this little mantra. Oftentimes, there are people in your life who are powerless people seeking empowerment. So they see you, they see the amazing things that you're doing, they see your
Mm-hmm.
amazing personality, the way that you show up in the world, and they're intimidated by that because they know
Mm-hmm.
that in their heart that they have no power over you. Just like we can't control what other people do to us, they can't control what we do and how we react, and that
Yeah.
intimidates, and people who are insecure, that intimidates them. So they
Mm-hmm.
seek empowerment over you by commenting on your body or commenting on your food
Yeah.
choices, or the way that you dress or whatever the case may
To
be.
try to get that reaction out of you so that it shows
Right.
that they have the power in that
Some kind of power.
conversation.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remind myself that that person does not know how I identify.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with identifying as fat. I think we need to take some of the like negative stigma out of that word as well. That probably could be like a whole nother podcast. Like,
Have you not seen the Lizzo's show? Like, was it Get Ready for the Big Girls or something? Or Watch Out for the Big
yeah.
Girls? That's nominated for an Emmy this season.
Right,
I
yeah.
love her empowerment. I mean, but like you were saying earlier, though, how it just seems like for some reason it's just ingrained in us to want to judge. And I feel like because one of the things that influences us so much is TV, media, social media. And I mean, look at the way that Gabourey Sidibe was treated when she started getting into movies. Did she start winning crazy awards because she's an amazing actress? Yes, she did. Chrissy Metz, This Is Us. She constantly would get criticism for her size and her weight. She made me cry. I can't tell you how many times on that show because she is such a great actress. And then there's Lizzo. Lizzo's like, I'm stopping this right now.
Right.
Like, I love so much that she just like put her foot down and she's like, you can say anything you want because like you said, that says more about you than me. That does not change how I feel about myself. And of course that's a tough thing for somebody to say sometimes when they're already in that place. But I just love that so much about her. I love that she's bringing that to young girls.
Because I feel like we should not let anyone, especially people who are not being supportive and not asking how to support you in the best way that they can, we can't give them free rein in our mind. And I know it's easier said than done, but we can't let them take up that space because they don't deserve it.
No.
So I know it's like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words can hurt, like deep.
Oh, yeah.
They can hurt. And your feelings are valid if you are experiencing or you're on the receiving end of fat shame. Your feelings are valid, but just remind yourself of who you really are. I am a daughter, I am a sister, I am a friend, I am a teacher, I am strong, I am funny, I am kind. you have to start speaking that over yourself, because that's the seeds that you want to plant. That's what's going to grow, is what you speak over yourself. You don't want to
Yes.
let that negativity take up space in your garden, right?
What is that one quote? It's driving me crazy. Like, no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Is it something like
That
that?
sounds really close.
What
I mean,
is
yeah,
that one? I know. I'm like, that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna find it. I swear I'm
it's
gonna
true.
find it.
I just posted on my personal Instagram a reel about watering your own yard, right?
You
It's like,
did, yes.
we just can't worry about what other people are doing in their yards and how they're acting and behaving and choosing to spend their time on earth. We can only control and water our own yard, and
Yeah.
we can break the cycle in our own families, and we can have those tough conversations. I have friends who have been, mid-size or straight size or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
not overweight, right?
Yeah.
Who, like, I still have to make, like, hey, that's not an appropriate comment, or I
Mm,
don't feel supported when you say that. And a true friend will hear you out. They'll be, okay, tell me more about
yes.
that. Tell me more about that stigma that you experienced, or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be, because, like I said, the people that love you, they want to support you. So again, some of it is just like having those tough conversations, but it can be worth it to break the cycle. You found it.
I did. It was exactly who I thought it was. Eleanor Roosevelt said that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I did remember it because
Mm-hmm.
exactly. I mean, 100%. If
Yeah.
you don't give someone permission to do that, nope. Sorry about
Right.
your bad luck. Your
Mm-hmm.
words do not have an effect on how I feel about myself. Like I said, I know that's easier said than done. And like I have somebody very close to me in my life who's going through a very rough time right now. And she keeps telling me, well, now if only I believed it. And I always, because when
Mm-hmm.
we tell her, like, you are strong, you are brave, and she's like, now if only I believed it. I'm like, just keep saying it.
Right.
Keep looking in the mirror and keep telling yourself that, because you will get to that point where it's a statement and not a question kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, to anybody who has had experienced this as a child, as an adult, if you are dealing with it, our hearts go out to you 110%.
Yeah.
Like I said, that one other person that I was talking to who wouldn't go to her family reunion, it basically boiled down to find your people. Find those
Mm-hmm.
people who support you. Like Maggie just said, a true friend will understand. A true friend will be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, how do we go about this now? And it's
Right.
just, yeah, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I'm going to say that like 3 more times.
Right. And I think, we all could benefit from just taking a pause before we
Mm-hmm.
comment on someone
Yeah.
else. Like I even have experience where people think they're being supportive and helpful. Like just last weekend, I went to a NASCAR race, and when
Oh my
you're in
gosh,
one
and
of
you look
those
so cute.
when you're in one of those stadiums, you have to walk up a lot of stairs. And I've been going to NASCAR longer than I've been down 100 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so someone said to me, like, could you imagine 5 years ago and the body that you had, you getting out there and you going and watching that race? I said, actually, I can't imagine it because I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just
Yeah.
because I was 100 pounds heavier doesn't mean I couldn't. Sure,
Yeah.
like I was a little more out of breath, or I mean, those stadium stairs are harder. It doesn't matter how, like, what you weigh. Those stadium stairs, like, those
Right?
are
Yeah.
hard, right? But like, it's just kind of interesting. Like, we sometimes we don't even realize what we're saying is
Mm.
hurtful or
Yeah.
shameful or diminishing someone's worth
Yeah.
because of their size or weight. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I didn't have struggles being overweight. I did. I
Mm-hmm.
still can and technically considered overweight. But I didn't let it define me,
Yeah.
and I didn't let it be my identity,
Yes.
and I didn't let people make me think that I couldn't be awesome just
Yeah.
because of the number on the scale or what size
Yeah.
clothing I wear. So I think it comes from repetition, from reminding yourself, for calling yourself out if you're letting those words become your truth. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
have to call yourself out and say, no, that's not true. I get to decide how I identify and show up in the world, and I get to create my space, and no one can take
Absolutely.
that away from me.
100%. So if you are the person dealing with this everything Maggie just said. If you are someone who feels like maybe you are on the delivering end, words of support. You can always think about how, like I said, even if you feel like you are supporting by telling somebody, oh, maybe you shouldn't have that. Or maybe, or like what somebody had said to Maggie, just flip it around. You can still say things in a more supportive, helpful way. Like I've said that to my kids, like find new words. Because especially if it's coming from the heart and it's out of care and concern, then you can find those words. You can find the words to show support and not in a negative way. If it's still just a hardcore negative way, that can cause some lasting damage to people. Yeah. Let's just try to move. Like, what did they teach us when we were little? If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
And again, like we could probably have another podcast on this. And
I know
I'm very lucky that my family is, my immediate family, let me be more specific, is very supportive. And any conversation that we've had about weight comes from a place of they've experienced it and they just want me to have a long and happy, healthy life. But I think there's like pressure on us. Oh, because they're my family, I have to put up with them, or I have to no. Yes, they're blood, but you get one life and you get to decide how you spend it. And if someone's seriously toxic to you, you get to create space and boundaries. You don't have to put yourself in that situation. And it's okay to walk away from something, even if it's blood.
Have you heard Meghan Trainor's new song, Bad for Me? That's literally what the song is about. She says, please don't make promises that you can't keep. Your best intentions end up hurting me. I've got to run from your reality. I know we're blood, but this love is bad for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that song made me cry.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because there are people out there that like.
Can you tell how many times I've listened to it? I know. It's not read for me.
I know. I need to listen to that. It sounds like a powerful song.
Good. I was somebody who listened to it told her, "Dang girl, you brought me to church." Because are you a Pentatonics fan? Because I know you're a singer. So.
Oh yeah. I actually have been to the same wedding as Kirsty.
Oh my gosh. Well, Scott from Pentatonics, one of the lead singer guys, he actually was one of the producers on the song too. So it's like even one of the lines in the song says, "It's so hard for me to draw that line and leave you on the other side." Like.
Yeah, it is hard. Sometimes. Like it's not easy, the conversations, and it's not easy, but you get one life. If someone is negatively impacting your mental health, even after you've had conversations and you've set boundaries and you've voiced your concerns, it's okay to step away and not put yourself in that situation. Like life's too short. So
I know. Well, we love you guys. If you ever need a place to turn, we are more than happy to bring some positivity into your life. So like I said, we knew this was going to be a rough one. I know I got a little misty. I'm glad I kind of kept it together. I'm a very emotional person. But okay, friends. So we are going to get into our star goals and recommendations for this week. So I'll go first this week, and then I'll have you. I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah.
And then we'll flip flop. Last week, I believe my goal was to do my Couch to 5K. Remember, I wanted to do it once. I did it. So I'm going to do it twice. And I just I really want to keep up with it. So I've never completed a Couch to 5K training. I always get about halfway and then I'm like, I don't know what happens. Like, I guess it gets too hard for me. So that's my big goal is I want to complete it. But each week I'm just going to be like, okay, just this week. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about, it's a 9-week program. Nope. Just today. Am I going to do one today? Am I going to do one this week? So that's my focus for this week is to do 2. And then, my recommendation, I know this is going to be a very easy and maybe silly one, but smile at someone you don't know today. You really don't know what that can do for other people. Like throw kindness around like glitter. I mean, it's just something that's so easily given. And you never know what somebody else could be going through. And just that little smile can really turn someone's day around. So just smile at someone you don't know today, guys.
I love it. My star goal, truthfully, and y'all, someone asked me about this today because they've heard me say the wash, rinse, repeat, and just setting their really, really doable goals. So I don't remember if I mentioned this in our last recording, but I was sick and I had my birthday and then I got COVID and I was like not tracking, I think for at least 9 days. And so I just recently got back into tracking. So my star goal is just to maintain that behavior and consistently and honestly track.
Yeah.
Even the bites, the licks, the taste, the handful of
BLT.
P&Ms here or
Yeah.
there, like I'm just celebrating that getting back to that habit is a healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
And then my recommendation is to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how can I water my yard today?
Mm-hmm.
How can I
I
take care
like
of my
it.
yard today? Because we really can only control us. And the more we pour into us, the stronger that will be, to remind ourselves of who we are and not let those haters get us down.
Yeah,
So.
that could be literal water or figurative water.
Right, like hydration is key to
Let's
success.
water. I know I said a quote and we've said a few, but I did have one written down for today. So do we still want to end it with this other one?
Yes.
Add one more in there? Okay.
Right, why not throw it in?
Yeah.
In a world where you can be anything, be kind.
Okay, friends. So you heard it. Be kind. In a world where you can be anything, be kind.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to wrap this one up. Next week, we're going to be talking about things that inspire us. That's another listener question, actually. She told us she was very inspired by us in this podcast, so she wanted to know what inspired us. So tune in next week. Come on back. Drop us a review, a comment, follow us on Instagram, all the good places. Check out our we got a Facebook page, we got a YouTube page, we got Instagram,
we
got
even
a blog.
have TikTok, and I don't even have TikTok. You can thank Rachel for that. I refuse to get TikTok. So we're all over the place.
I know, yeah. You can pretty much find us on any platform. So find us, guys, hang out, and we love you. And thanks for dropping by.
Have a magical day. Bye.
Bye.